Namaskar and welcome to StudyIQ. I am your friend Rahul Saigaonker. Now, before we begin today's discussion, warm greetings from my side to all the viewers of StudyIQ on the occasion of Ganesh Chaturthi. Happy Ganesha festival. I wish Lord Ganesha bestows upon you a lot of happiness and prosperity this season. Let's jump into today's topic. Today's topic is about Nobel Prize. Now, you're surprised. Sir, are Nobel Prizes announced already? The answer is no. The Nobel Prizes would be announced on October 2nd, 2023. But today, we are going to understand about Nobel Prizes in totality. What is the history of Nobel Prize? What are the different categories? How are things selected? When are things announced? All those things would be discussed today. In fact, I'll be discussing about Nobel Prize in another section as well, where I'll specifically talk about Nobel Prize and India in our next video. But today, let's get to know all the things about Nobel Prizes. Let us begin. But before that, there is a small announcement. For all the UPSC civil services aspirants, StudyIQ's P2I program for September is beginning from 22nd September 2023. The classes will be from 6 p.m. This is the most comprehensive batch for UPSC preparation, and it would be one of the last opportunities for you to prepare for 2024. Right? You do understand for the next year examination, it's available in 3 formats: English, Hindi, and in a bilingual format. It is quite affordable. Just visit our website www.studyiq.com. You'll get all the details there. You will get to know, read about the testimonials of the students who are already learning from us. You will see how they are improving their MCQ solving ability, answer writing skills. Just go to our website studyiq.com and enroll. I'll see you in the class. Right. Let's begin our interaction about Nobel Prize. First thing, so what is this Nobel Prize and who is it named after? Nobel Prizes are named after an individual called Alfred Nobel. Now, this is Alfred Nobel. He's a Swedish citizen. He was a Swedish citizen. I would say he was a multifaceted personality. He was a chemist, he was an engineer, he was an inventor, businessman, philanthropist, a multifaceted personality. Now, we know about Nobel Prize, derived from the name of Alfred Nobel. But Alfred Nobel is also known for a lot of inventions. And the most prominent among them is the invention of dynamite, the explosive, nitroglycerine. In fact, he patented that in 1867 itself. Alfred Nobel, as I told you, he was an inventor. He was a businessman. He's a chemist. In fact, he has more than 350 patents to his name. He was very fond of science. And the Nobel Prizes are named after him. And the prize money for the Nobel Prize, it also comes from his wealth only. Now you'll be surprised. So how? See, before his expiration, before his death, Alfred Nobel, he wrote a will, a testament, in which he suggested that all his wealth would go towards scientific discoveries and scientific inventions in different fields, of course. So he wrote his will in 1895 and he established Nobel Prizes. The very next year he expired, and after that his will was executed and the Nobel Foundation was created in 1900. And this Nobel Foundation right now is responsible for all the prizes, the Nobel Prizes. Now you do understand he had enormous amount of wealth, and that wealth even now through the Nobel Foundation, it is invested and the money comes, and that money is given as prize money to different winners. From the very next year, after creation of Nobel Foundation 1900, from 1901, the Nobel Prizes, they started. In fact, one of the first Nobel Prizes in physics was given to Wilhelm Röntgen. Now we know that name because of the invention of X-ray from physics, right? So from 1901 started the Nobel Prizes. Now Nobel Prizes originally they were given in 5 categories. They are given in 5 categories: for physics, for chemistry. I wouldn't say biology per se, physics, chemistry, and then medicine or physiology. 3 are connected with science: physics, chemistry, physiology, medicine. And there is a literature prize, Nobel Literature Prize, and then a Nobel Peace Prize as well. Originally, there were 5 categories. In fact, this Nobel Foundation, it funds from the wealth that was bequeathed by Alfred Nobel himself. The prize from that Nobel Foundation, it goes for these 5 categories. But there is one more Nobel Prize which was later on instituted in 1968. This was not exactly through the Nobel Foundation, but through a bank. In 1968, Sverige Riksbank, it established the Sverige Riksbank Prize, which is also called the Nobel Prize in Economics. Again, it was in the memory of Alfred Nobel himself. And from the very next year, From 1969 onwards, Nobel Prize in Economics is also awarded. You can see here, this is one of the Indian Amartya Sen receiving Nobel Prize in Economics. It's old news, yes, but Nobel Prize in Economics is also given. So there are 6 categories. In fact, let me know in the comment section, is there any Nobel Prize for mathematics? Of course, it's not, but is there any equivalent of Nobel Prize in mathematics? It's given every 4 years. It's a medal which is given. So do research and let me know about that in the comment section. So as of now, if a question comes, Nobel Prize is awarded in how many categories? It is awarded in 6 categories: physics, chemistry, medicine, literature, peace, and then economics. Now, specifically economics and all the money connected with the economics award, it is given by the Sverige Riksbank since 1968. Clear? Now, next question. So, when are the awards announced and what do they get basically? See, generally the awards are announced in October. Every year, October, the awards are announced one after the other on the first week, basically first full week. This time the first full week is starting from 2nd October. So on Monday, the medicine award would be announced. The very next day, Tuesday, chemistry announced, physics announced, Tuesday, physics, Wednesday, chemistry, and in this sequence, it's awarded. And whoever is the winner will get 10 million kroner, Swedish currency, 10 million kroner, which is nearly 900,000 US dollars. They will get this cash prize. Along with it, they also get a diploma and a medal, a Nobel medal. It is 24 karat gold medal, something like this. In fact, you can see the picture here. Barack Obama was given Nobel Peace Prize in 2009. This is the diploma. Along with it, there is a medal and a check as well of 10 million kroner. All right. So this was the Peace Prize which is awarded. So every winner gets these things. Now the question mark is, sir, are there any clauses with respect to these medals, these winners? How are they selected, etc.? Let's talk about those nitty-gritty. Please remember, Nobel Prize cannot be shared with more than 3 people. That is why you must have seen whenever Nobel Prize in physics is awarded, chemistry is awarded, for say, you must have seen there are 2 or 3 scientists sometimes for their contribution. Yes, so 3 people, the maximum. The Nobel Prize can be divided only among 3 individuals, 3 scientists. Although Nobel Peace Prize, specifically for peace, it can be awarded to organizations which might have more than 3 people. And many times organizations have received, you do understand, European Union has received, OPCW has received Nobel Peace Prizes. Apart from that, a very, very important pointer, Nobel Peace Prize cannot be given posthumously. That means after a person has expired, Nobel Prize would not be given because their nomination are not accepted. All right, and that is why Mahatma Gandhi did miss out on it, although he had received nominations before that, but he did not win. Posthumously, Nobel Prizes are not given. But please remember, if a person is nominated that particular year, if he is selected as well, and between this time, I told you they're announced in October, but the award, Nobel Prizes, are given on December 10th every year because that is the death anniversary of Alfred Nobel. He expired in 1896. Within that period, if the person, he was already finalized, he was declared as winner, but then because of certain circumstances, if he expires, then the award can be given. Now, one of the examples is Dag Hammarskjöld, right? He was the former UN Secretary General. He was given award like that only. It was already announced. Later on, he expired. So one of the examples. Apart from that, who can nominate? Now, this is a question. Who can nominate? Thousands of people can give nominations. Now, nominations can be directly sent to the Nobel Foundation. There are different sections for physics, chemistry, etc. Many people can do. They include professors, university professors. In fact, invites are also gone from the Nobel Foundation, from the different committees, different foundations for nominations. So professors can do it, lawmakers can do it, previous Nobel laureates can do it, even the committee members, the Nobel Foundation committee members themselves can do it, nations can do it. So nomination can come from any person. For instance, a few years back, far right Norwegian lawmaker Christian Jede, he had nominated Donald Trump. You heard me right, he had nominated Donald Trump twice, in 2018 and in 2020, right, for his role with respect to the Abraham Accord. So again, he did not win, Donald Trump did not win, but nomination can be given by anybody. And the process, it goes on something like this. right now in October it would be announced, but the process of Nobel Prizes, it starts last year itself. By September, nomination invitations are sent out, and then the nominations are scrutinized throughout the year, and finally by this year September, everything is finalized. And please remember, the names are not announced before. The names are not announced before. The names are announced directly on the day. On the day in October itself, the dates are fixed. It is also called Nobel Week. In that Nobel Week, every day one Nobel Prizes are announced, and in December, the final prize ceremony takes place. Prize ceremony happens at two places, in Stockholm in Sweden and in Oslo in Norway as well. All right. Now, question is, who selects it? Who selects it? Now, this was already written by Alfred Nobel himself in his will. Now, in his will, he had specifically designated the institutions who would be responsible for giving out the Nobel Prizes. The Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences, it is responsible for giving out Nobel Prize in physics, chemistry, and even in economics as well. From 1969, it gives out the economics medal as well. They will select the winner. Apart from that, the Karolinska Institute, it gives Nobel Prize in physiology or medicine. There is the Swedish Academy, which gives prize in literature, and there is a committee of 5 persons to be elected by the Norwegian Parliament. Now remember, you can see all these three are connected with Sweden, but the last one, with respect to Peace Prize, it is connected with a Norwegian parliamentary committee which decides the Nobel Peace Prize. And please remember, the Nobel statutes or the rules and regulations according to the will of Alfred Nobel, they clearly highlight that judges, whoever are members of these committees, whoever will be deciding the winners, they would not be discussing how they came up with that particular name for 50 years. For 50 years. That is written in the statutes, right? So how, on what grounds, on what are the criteria, etc., those are not to be disclosed till 50 years. Quite strange, right? Right. So this is about the Nobel Prize, who selects it. These are the institutions. There is a small Norwegian connection. You do understand that all the Nobel Prizes for physics, chemistry, economics, literature, and your physiology, medicine, it goes from different Swedish institutions, but there is a Norwegian connection, and it's a little strange to understand. Although Alfred Nobel himself was from Sweden, the Nobel Peace Prize, only Peace Prize, it is presented in Norway, Oslo. All the other awards are handed to Stockholm from Sweden itself. Now we don't know exactly why this happened, but this was the wish of Alfred Nobel. But one of the conjectures is that during that time, during his times, Sweden and Norway, they were joined by some sort of a union, and the union was dissolved in 1905, and he expired almost 9 years before that itself. So it is believed that Alfred Nobel wanted some role of the Norwegians also to be with the Nobel Prize, and that's why Peace Prize is decided by the Norwegian Parliamentary Committee. All right. So again, sometimes, even today, sometimes the relation between Sweden and Norway, they are tense and they are quite fiercely contested, especially when it comes to the Peace Prize announcement, right? So we have seen some of the controversies connected with that. All right. So this is all about the Nobel Peace Prize. Now let me end my discussion by giving you a small information. You need to remember that Mahatma Gandhi has not received Nobel Peace Prize. Being a champion for non-violence during the 20th century, we all know his contribution. It's not like he was not nominated. He was nominated 5 times. He was nominated in 1937, 38, 39, 1947, and even later on in 1948 as well, in the initial 1948 as well. But he never received the Nobel Prize. Apart from that, it's a quite strange factoid. If you look at the gender gap in terms of Nobel Prizes, it is quite stark. Till now, from 1901, from the date Nobel Prizes have been instituted, only 58 women have received Nobel Prizes, and the largest section from that also would go towards literature and peace. That means science related Nobel Prizes, physics, medicine, chemistry, economics, a very low number or female candidates. It's just It's just an interesting factor which we can see that that the numbers are again skewed with respect to Nobel Prize also towards the males. All right. Right. That was just some information. With that, let me end this discussion. I hope this was interesting for you. And I told you that we'll be having another discussion with respect to Nobel Prize and India very soon. I hope that you have gotten all the information. If you have any queries, any doubts, you can always reach out to me on this particular ID at the rate Rahul Sai 222. Thank you for watching this video. Jai Hind.